It was explaining sex without really
going into the nitty-gritty.
Nitty-gritty. And so that's...
the ins and outs, if you will.
Oh, boo, boo, boo.
Oh man, I'm funny.
Hello, and we're back to Dark Souls with Sporkafish. I'm Catherine.
Welcome back. I am Andrew.
We are in... Seath's...
We are in the Duke's Archives, home of Seth the Scalous.
Yes. And
otherwise
known
as Seth the Scalous.
And we have done this, but because our audio corrupted, we've decided that we're just going to run through it again just to kind of show you what we were doing. Yeah,
for anyone who hasn't seen before, we had audio corrupt. It was like 2 episodes ago.
Yeah. But we had to play that because we defeated Mito Burrito.
We defeated Nito, and I wanted to make sure that was on camera so people weren't like, what the fuck, you didn't beat Nito?
Yeah, like, you didn't record it? What's going on, guys? But in the last episode we were talking about, so we had like a really good conversation about what we're still slightly confused with and what we don't quite understand. And obviously with the audio corrupting, you know, we didn't really
it's gone forever.
It's gone forever.
It's not really, but you don't want to listen to it.
No, it's awful. And it just got worse, and you were saying like the audio was getting worse with each episode.
Yeah. It's pretty much unlistenable by the end.
But we were chatting about it, and I thought it was really good. I thought we should kind of go back to it. We were talking about sex education, and how much sex education did you actually get growing up?
We both had the same answer though.
We did. Not much. Not much was the answer to that.
We got sex ed in primary school, which is, what's the equivalent in, say, America? I know that like English people will know.
Elementary.
Elementary. I know they have kindergarten, which is the same as nursery.
Yeah, and then they have elementary. Then they have middle school.
But that's sort of between primary school.
I'm pretty sure high school's 14 to 18.
Is it?
Yes.
They're in what is essentially the same as primary school until they're 14.
Yeah.
And high school is 14
that's why they have like a middle school. Any Americans watching, please correct me if I'm wrong.
Please explain it to us.
Yeah, because
we're ignorant to your culture.
We're so sorry. But anyway, so primary...
You'd think we would know since we have American TV all the time. But they never really go through the ages.
In primary 6, I got pulled into a separate room with all the girls. And we got told about periods. But I already knew about it all. This is what you were laughing at. I already knew all of this.
Because you're a wee dirty.
No, girls are a wee dirty. I asked my dad what sex was when I was 5. And so he explained it to me at a level that I would understand, which I think is super important, isn't it? Just, you should never avoid a question a child asks, should you? Like, you should always just...
I mean, there are certain questions. Oh, that bonfire. I went the long way round before. Gosh darn.
Right, should you not maybe rest at the bonfire?
Yeah, I'm going to rest at that bonfire. I went the long way round. I'm going to do it again just to show what I did. But, like, this will make it easier.
You alright? You're feeling a bit upset now, aren't you?
Yes.
Oh.
Oh well, opened a shortcut.
Aye. Anyway, but no, so I had asked Dad, but I think, what questions do you not think should be answered then?
I don't know, things like
sex?
I don't know exactly. I'm sure there are some. I don't want to say like exactly there are. This question you should never answer to your child.
I suppose it depends on the child, doesn't it, as well, and the maturity of the child. Like, I was always told I was like a 60-year-old in a 5-year-old's body, so...
Well, you have been drinking whiskey since you were a wee baby.
I have, so maybe. But, no, I asked Dad what sex was, and he explained it to me in a way that I would understand. And he says to me at the end of it, like, is that okay? Does that make sense? Like, I haven't scared you, have I? Or anything like that. Which I think was really important. I think always get feedback from your child, like, to make sure that they understood it. And I went... No, I get that. That makes sense. But that doesn't really answer my question. And Dad...
Can you tell us how he told you about it, Catherine?
Alright,
for context?
So I turned around and said to Dad, what's sex? Like, what does sex mean? And so Dad basically said to me that mummies and daddies, like when they want to be mummies and daddies, the daddy gives the mum a seed.
Uh-huh.
And they then plant the seed in an egg that lives in mummy, and then the egg grows into a baby in mummy's tummy. That's kind of, which is right.
In a way. In a manner of speaking.
But it's in a way that I would have understood, you know what I mean? It was explaining sex without really
going into the nitty-gritty.
Nitty-gritty. And so that's...
the ins and outs, if you will.
Oh, boo, boo, boo.
Oh man, I'm funny. I died. I died for karmic justice.
But so that's how he explained it to me, and he goes, "Does that make sense? Like, I didn't scare you or anything, did I?" Like, and I went, "No, that makes sense, but that doesn't answer my question." He goes, "Well, what do you mean? Like, what didn't you understand?" And I went, "Well, the telly was talking about sheep, and they said the opposite sex. So I know what opposite means, but I don't understand how what they said would be the opposite of that." And he's like, "Oh, for fuck's sake, Catherine, why do you do this to me?" It's like, and he went, "Oh no, in that context, opposite sex means like the opposite sex of a boy is a girl." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, that makes sense." And off I walked.
And then off you went on your merry 5-year-old way.
Yeah, and then the issue was, then I read a lot of books. And a lot of the books my age... Oops.
Did you see him just fly?
But a lot of the books my age, I was too old for, like, maturity-wise. So, unfortunately, they started giving me adult books without reading them before they gave me them. So, by the time I was in primary 6, which is, 11? Yeah, 11. 10 or 11.
Yeah.
Yeah.
10, 11, or 12, depending on
yeah.
Then.
So... by that point, I was 10 or 11 at that point, and I already knew everything about sex, because one, I'd asked my dad when I was 5 and sort of knew, and 2, these books went into great description and detail. Like, I was learning about prostitutes and everything. It was great. These books had prostitutes in them. Admittedly, my dad was very embarrassed because I wouldn't let him read these books. I kept telling him, "No, you wouldn't like these books, Dad.
No, Dad, you wouldn't enjoy it.
You wouldn't like these
books.
Just
drop it, Dad. No."
And then eventually he read them. He sort of like, it was one of those, I think he kind of sat me down and went, did you enjoy the books? And yeah, they were alright. And he went, "Have you got any questions about anything that was in the books? Things that you didn't quite understand?" And I'm like, "I don't really think they left much to the imagination." So he was a wee bit, I must admit, he was a bit embarrassed. Because I don't even know if he was the one that read it or he'd recommended it to somebody at work. Like, "Oh, my daughter really liked them." And so it was like, it's either him or one of his friends.
He's recommended a book about hookers that his daughter is reading.
Well, to be fair, it wasn't about hookers. It was like sex and prostitutes were in the book. That wasn't what the book was about.
Okay.
Does that make sense? It was a part of it. Do you know what I mean? It was just there. It wasn't the main plot of the story or anything. The main plot was also with magic and stuff. And it was, somebody must have said something to him about it, and he was like, "Oh dear, better read these books." But no, then in primary 7, I think you got the video too?
Yes. There is, I'm sure everyone will know about the video.
Yeah, the birthing video. It basically shows you an animation of 2 people having sex.
Well, our one does.
Yeah. Our one had 2 people having sex and the woman getting impregnated, and then it shows you a live birth and this baby crowning, and it was awful, and it was just before lunch. We had people actually...
For you, it was just before lunch.
Yeah, for me, it was just before lunch.
We had it, I think, after lunch, which was lucky. Yeah,
we had it just before lunch. Hardly any of us was able to eat, and I'm pretty sure a couple of boys threw up. But can I just say, like, so there's about 4 or 5 primary schools that went to the high school in Dumbarton.
Yeah.
Out of all the people in the primary schools, we were the only primary school that didn't have any teenage pregnancies. So obviously showing us before lunch worked wonders. But you know what? I did biology in 3rd year, and I learned about reproduction then, but that was it. I didn't have any sex education in high school at all. What about you?
In high school, no.
No.
They skipped their year.
Which is weird. You'd think they'd do it for every year.
They did it for every other year.
Yeah.
they got the box, as you called it, the red box.
We had a red box.
Which had a dildo and some condoms in it, and you put the condoms on the dildo, so that you knew when you came to do the business.
See, I didn't get that.
We didn't get that either.
We had a box, but I don't think it was ever used. Should say the word used.
No, in our school, the year below us got it, the year above us got it.
So did you learn it from them then?
No.
Alright.
I learned it from the instructions on the packaging, which are good enough, I would say.
Well, you've not got anybody pregnant, have you?
As far as I know.
Wait, what? But no, I don't know.
So for anyone who hasn't had that education in school, there's instructions on the box.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Just follow them.
I think it's sad. I think it's bad though when Pornhub does more for sex education than your own high school does.
Oh, definitely. You can find many an instructional video.
on
on porn website.
Okay.
I'm sure you can.
I was gonna say because
I've not looked.
I have been told, and I have seen it on the internet, that apparently Pornhub's really pro safe sex and everything.
I think they actually have days dedicated to it where they'll like put up a banner.
Aye. So I think that's bad when like a porn website does more than your school. But saying that though, one of my pals in uni, so keep in mind I was only in high school like 4 years ago, so it wasn't that long ago, and my pal, who was the same year as me but a different high school, a Catholic high school, they had a syphilis outbreak in the school.
Oh, man.
Because they didn't teach anything. The only sex they taught was abstinence only, right? So don't have sex, that was all they were told. And then they had a massive syphilis outbreak.
I always think it's so funny to me that it always seems to be the Catholic schools that you hear about.
Yeah.
There's in high school the teenage pregnancy stories you heard of were from the Catholic school.
It was always the Catholic school.
It was always the Catholic school.
And I mean, there's only one Catholic school in our district, and it was just so it might just be to do with like numbers. Because there's so many people who go to that school because it's the only Catholic school.
I mean, it could be that. It could be that they're all wee dirties. It could be... could be any number of things, really.
Basically, what we're saying, guys, is stay safe. Yeah?
Have sex. Be safe.
Well, only if you want to. Consent.
We don't really get gay people that much. We don't understand.
Don't be like that. We do get that. We just don't understand all the different titles.
We don't understand the words.
We don't understand the words. We understand that anybody can love anybody as long as it's not...
We want to learn, but does there need to be so much?
Does there need to be so many words we need to remember? We sound like old people. Like there's so many... What? Like...
What's all this newfangled words?
Like, do there have to be so many words? And why can't schools just teach sex education? That's our rant. Yeah?
Yeah.
Right. Okay, why are there so many words and why can't we just have good sex education?
And why can't I do this anymore? No. I did this fine the first time and I can't do it again.
Sporkafish out.